Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. The former head of the 1993 three-month-old interim national government of Nigeria, Chief Ernest Schunekon, has died at the age of 85. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday tells us more about the man who succeeded former military president, General Ibrahim Babangida.
Late Chief Ernest Schunekon, GCFR, the Abese of Egbaland, was a Nigerian lawyer and statesman who served as the interim head of state of Nigeria from 26 August 1993 to 17 November 1993. Prior to his political career, Schunekon was the chairman and chief executive of the United African Company of Nigeria, a vast Nigerian conglomerate, which at the time was the largest African-controlled company in sub-Saharan Africa. Late Schunekon was one of 6 children born into the family of an Abeokuta-born civil servants on 9th May 1936 in Lagos State.
Be faithful and bear true allegiance.
Late Schunekon came into limelight on January 2nd, 1993, when he assumed office simultaneously as head of Transitional Council and head of government under former head of state, Ibrahim Babangida.
We must continue to give priority attention to the monumental challenge of improving the material well-being and economic welfare of our teeming populace.
At that time, the Transitional Council was designed to be the final phase leading to a scheduled handover to an elected democratic leader of the Third Nigerian Republic. In August 1993, Babangida resigned from office following the annulment of the June 12 elections. He then signed a decree establishing the interim national government led by Chief Ernest Schunekon, who was subsequently sworn in as head of state. During his few months in power, he tried to schedule another presidential election and a return to democratic rule.
To reassure our foreign partners that Nigeria's commitment to the important elements of the New World Order, particularly democratization, should not be in doubt.
His government was hampered by national workers' strike. Opposition leader Moshood Abiola viewed Shunekon's interim government as illegitimate, which was backed by a Lagos state court. As the head of state, he released some political prisoners detained by the regime of former President Ibrahim Babangida. In November 1993, 3 months into his administration, Schunekon was overthrown in a palace coup by General Sani Abacha.
The interim national government is hereby dissolved. The national and state assemblies are also dissolved.
In 1994, he founded the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, an advocacy group and think tank for private sector-led development of the Nigerian economy. Since he left office, Chief Schunekon assumed a position of an elder statesman and recently paid a special visit to President Muhammadu Buhari. He was the third oldest surviving Nigerian head of state by age after former head of state General Yakubu Gowon. Adebola Brooklyn, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has received with profound sadness the news of the death of a great statesman and former head of the interim national government, Chief Ernest Schunekon. The president extends deepest condolences to Chief Shunekon's wife, Margaret, loved ones, as well as the government and people of Ogun State. As an internationally respected statesman, President Buhari affirms that with courageous wisdom, Chief Schunekon left his flourishing business career to become the head of a government at a delicate time when the country needed someone of his calm mien and pedigree to save the ship of the state from sinking. President Buhari believes that Nigeria owes a great debt to Chief Schunekon, the peacemaker who even at the twilight of his life never stopped believing and working for a prosperous and democratic country. In the meantime, the residence of late Chief Ernest Schunekon in Abuja, Ogun State looks desolate. Yemi Dalimo tells us more.
Thank you, studio. Here is the home of the former chairman of the interim national government, Chief Ernest Oladeyinde Schunekon, the Abeshe of Egbaland in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. As at now, the house is under lock and key as the news of his demise is coming to many as a rude shock. Chief Ernest Schunekon, a Nigerian lawyer, was the chairman of the interim national government between August 26 and November 17, 1993. And prior to his political career, Schunekon was the chairman and CEO of the United African Company of Nigeria. And that's it from here. It's over to you, studio.
In another development, Ogun State Governor Diaspora Abiodun has mourned the death of Chief Ernest Schunekon. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Kunle Shomori, Governor Abiodun described the death of the Egba-born British-trained lawyer, industrialist and traditional chief as a colossal loss to Nigeria in general and Ogun State in particular, while noting that his death has created a huge vacuum in Nigeria and Egba land. Governor Abiodun prayed God to grant the soul of the deceased eternal repose and comfort his immediate family and Egba Traditional Council. It's time now to go over to our Lagos Network Center where Hingino is standing by and will be bringing us up to speed with the latest on the death of Chief Schunekon.
Thank you. The death of Nigeria's former head of interim national government, Chief Ernest Schunekon, has come to many as a shock. Abolade Salami, who was at his residence in Lagos, reports that he died at the age of 85.
Between August 26 and November 17, 1993, when NTA News got to the Lugard house of Ernest Chief Schunekon to confirm how true the news circulating on the social media is, we were prevented from gaining access to his residence as security guards on duty kept mum to the questions posed to them as regards the death of Chief Ernest Schunekon. However, among the early callers who came in this morning that went in and came out, she confirmed to us off camera that she got the news from a close relative that Chief Ernest Schunekon passed on. But as we speak to you now, no condolence register has been opened. To confirm the state of things, we arrived at the hospital where it was alleged that Chief Schunekon passed on, and some of hospital officials that spoke with us off camera said it is unethical for them to disclose the information about any of their patients. We asked if it was true that this was where Chief Schunekon passed on, but we were told that such information cannot be given to us. I can assure you that NTA will bring you up to speed with any event as it unfolds concerning the demise of Chief Ernest Schunekon. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. We now take a break. The news will continue shortly.
You're welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally endorsed the establishment of the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund, a private sector investment window for Nigerians in the diaspora to directly support investment in the country. This was while receiving a compendium entitled Plus 600 Diaspora Icons at 60, published by Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The compendium is aimed at recognizing, celebrating, and showcasing Nigerians in the diaspora who are doing great things in their host countries, contributing to the socio-economic development of Nigeria. Chairman, Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, said the publication was inspired by the town hall engagements between President Muhammadu Buhari and Nigerians in the diaspora.
These Nigerians, sir, are using their resources, talent, skills, and global exposure, and they're also flying the flag of Nigeria high in their host countries, as you have seen when you meet them, sir. We plan to publish this compendium at regular intervals, as presently we have thousands of other Nigerians worth celebrating by their country, Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari formally expressed his administration's profound gratitude to the Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission for the innovative steps towards ensuring better engagements with the nation's diaspora community.
Rebuilding Nigeria is not the responsibility of Nigerians who live at home alone, but of every Nigerian irrespective of the place of domicile. On behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, I call on all Nigerians to remain patriotic and committed to the highest ideal of contributing to the Nigerian project of the Nigeria of our collective dreams.
The compendium, Diaspora Icons at 60, the president said, is a reminder of what Nigerians are capable of doing to the delight of the global community, irrespective of the few bad eggs, saying Nigeria remains a great country populated by great people living at home or abroad and making everyone proud.
It is our duty to extol and celebrate them, as no one else will do so for us. Rather, other people will tend to capitalize on the few bad eggs and characterize us in their own narratives that seek to characterize us in bad light. We must not allow that to happen. As we launch the compendium of excellent Nigerians today, we are also celebrating some of our best nationally and globally. I call on every Nigerian, irrespective of where they may be, to continue to be of exemplary behavior and with determination to offer quality services that contribute to the progress of humanity.
The chairman, Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, used the opportunity to highlight some of the giant strides achieved by the commission since establishment in 2019 and made a case for increased budgetary allocation as Nigerians in the diaspora form a strategic component of the population that must be engaged for national development. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has officially announced Amina Mohammed of Nigeria as Deputy Secretary General of the World Body. Adebola Brookslin reports.
Secretary Mohammed solemnly declared and promised to exercise.
In January 2017, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres swore in Nigeria's Amina Mohammed as Deputy Secretary General of the global body. Shortly after the UN General Assembly reappointed Antonio Guterres for a second time in June, the UN scribe said Nigeria's Amina Mohammed will serve with him for a second term. During a media chat in New York, the United Nations spokesperson Stephen Dujarric said the formal confirmation of Amina Mohammed followed her successful first tenure, recognizing her contributions in the UN robust response to socio-economic effects of the COVID-19 crisis.
Ms. Mohammed's leadership helped advance a conceptual shift from the UN that member states called for in adopting the Sustainable Development Goals. The Secretary General expressed his appreciation for the Deputy Secretary-General's leadership of the UN Sustainable Development Group and her determination to reinforce the collective results and maximize the impact of the UN development system.
The global body also sympathized with Nigeria on the recent attacks in Zamfara State.
He extends his heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families. The Secretary-General urges the Nigerian authorities to spare no effort in bringing those responsible for this heinous crime to justice. The Secretary-General reaffirms the solidarity and support of the United Nations to the government and people of Nigeria in their fight against terrorism, violent extremism, and organized crime.
President Muhammadu Buhari had vowed that the federal government will not relent in the current military operations to get rid of those who have been terrorizing innocent people. Adebola Brookslyn, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo receives in audience the Greece Foreign Minister Nikolaos Georgios Dendias, who is on official visits to Nigeria. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
A comparative advantage.
Nigerian Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema led the delegation to the office of the Vice President after a number of MOUs of mutual benefits had been signed by both ministers. Issues discussed at the meeting include how the economic ties between the two countries can be strengthened, maritime security, and the security challenges in the country and Africa, as well as combating the COVID-19 challenge.
And we think that the opportunities are just limitless for cooperation. And also to thank you very much and to thank the government of Greece for the donation of vaccinations. The pandemic remains remains a major threat for the entire world. And we have taken very serious steps in ensuring that we are protected and protect our populace as much as possible and collaborate with the rest of the world in ensuring that we're able to do as much as we can to prevent the spread of the pandemic.
Generally on the issues of security in the sub-Saharan Africa, which us as Greece, but mostly as members of the European Union, have a big interest. Also, we would like to be a part of a bright economic future of the region. We believe that Africa is the fastest growing region in the world, has the youngest population, and we have to help the development of Africa, among others, in order to address also the issues having to do with migration.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo assures his visitors that Nigeria is playing its part in seeing the COVID-19 pandemic to an end, and that government is ready to cooperate with other countries on this and in ensuring peace in Africa and elsewhere in the world. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Diba Barry in our Port Harcourt studio will be giving us more on Nationwide. Good evening.
Bunkering have been intercepted by the Nigerian Navy and handed over to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps for prosecution. Kingsley Amaji reports.
The 5 suspects were intercepted at Isaka and Cotton Channel following credible intelligence to the Nigerian Navy. This is coming barely a couple of days the Rivers State government gave a directive to local government council chairmen to work with community leaders to see to the end of illegal oil refining activities and movement across the state. They were caught while moving illegally refined petroleum products using wooden boats.
Acting on credible intelligence, specifically on the 6th of January 2022, our Tactical Riverine Assault Squadron conducted a simultaneous raid at Isaka Junction and Cotton Channel. And the result was that 8 large wooden boats and 5 suspects were arrested. The boats were laden with products suspected to be illegally refined AGO.
The Naval Authority says it will intensify operations to ensure they stamp out all forms of illegal refining of petroleum products and the movement of same by sea and on land.
Our strategy as a base is to destroy the illegal infrastructures, at the same time intercept the movement of these products.
This collaboration between the Nigerian Navy and sister security agencies has resulted in increased conviction of suspects.
Most of the cases with no conviction.
The Navy maintains that it has zero tolerance to any form of conspiracy with its personnel and those involved in the sabotage of the nation's resources. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Cross River State Governor Professor Ben Ayade has reaffirmed his decision to support a Southern Senatorial District candidate for governor at the 2023 general elections. The governor said his stance is based on equity and justice. Paul Abel reports.
Governor Ben Ayade says his commitment to ensuring that power reverts to the Southern Senatorial District of the state come 2023 is irreversible, as the measure will enhance peace and unity in the state. The governor insists that the South has credible people with capacity to be governor, as he calls on others from other senatorial districts to give up what he calls the practice of crude democracy.
My role is to be fair. The South has produced, the Central has produced, the North has produced. Let's go back to the South and run the race again.
Governor Ayade therefore calls for a paradigm shift to consider the minority in the polity and promises not to play God in choosing a successor. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. Is back to Abuja for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Thanks, Debabari. More than 547 criminals, including migrant bandits, were arrested in parts of Zamfara and Katsina states in 2021. This was highlighted during the Defense Media Operations briefing in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
2021 is gone, and the acting director, Defense Media Operations, is here with account of bandits eliminated in parts of Zamfara and Katsina states and terrorists smoked out from their hibernating enclaves in the northeast. Ongoing ground and air operations facilitated by upscale synergy among the security agencies, in addition to series of non-kinetic approaches, the defense headquarters noted, account for the mass surrendering of terrorists.
A total of 24,059 terrorists and their families, comprising 5,326 adult males, 7,550 adult females, and 11,183 children have so far surrendered to armed troops in the northeast.
Cumulatively, 745 kidnapped victims were rescued by the armed forces across the country, while troops of Operation Safe Haven in the North Central arrested 1,771 criminals.
On the heels of credible intelligence, which revealed the locations of two key bandit leaders, the notorious Alhaj Auta and Kachala Ruga, consequently, a force package of Nigerian Air Force platforms were dispatched to take out the enclave, which resulted in the neutralization of their leaders. No fewer than 100 armed bandits were neutralized in this encounter.
Similarly, troops of Operation Delta Safe and Awase, waging war against the nation's economic sabotage in the South-South and the Southwest, deactivated 160 illegal refining sites in the region.
A total of 41 kidnapped victims were rescued, while 77 criminals elements associated with pipeline vandalism, piracy, illegal oil bunkering, and armed robbery were arrested within the period under review.
The military high command commended the public and the press for their support and promised to induct more personnel and platforms to further secure Nigeria and Nigerians in 2022. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Kaduna is next with Suleiman standing by on Nationwide. Good evening, Suleiman. It's good to see you.
Thank you, good evening, and welcome to Kaduna Network Center. Concerned by the prevalence and consequent menace of drug abuse, especially among youth of tertiary institutions, there is a conscious effort by various groups, including the NTA, to find solution to the problem. To this end, A one-day sensitization event for students has been held in Dutse, the Jigawa state capital. Ibrahim Belogunda reports.
Statistics from the World Drug Use Survey indicates that more than 36 million people are suffering from drug use disorder worldwide, with global indices expected to increase by 11% by the year 2030 if not controlled. It also projected an increase of 40% in Africa, with Nigeria having a disturbing proportion. This necessitated the sensitization lecture aimed at finding the remote causes of drug abuse, especially among youths, for a better society. With the theme, Drug Abuse and Immorality, the lecture, organized by a coalition of youths for development in partnership with NTA Dutse, seeks to look at religious and social approach to curbing menace in tertiary educational system.
Some of the reasons why people are taking drugs is sometimes curiosity and desire to find out the effectiveness of the drugs. Some people will say, okay, let me just test it. I want to see how these people feel when they take the drugs.
Immorality aids the use of drugs, and a continuous usage of drugs can lead to drug addiction and dependence.
NTA, you know, is a public service organization, and we are also championing this kind of cause. So we are going to partner with this organization to ensure the success of this campaign.
The level of immorality and drugs abuse in our society is very high, very, very high. It is the causes of this armed robbery, banditry, and kidnapping.
We change their orientation, and the only way is through drug education, sensitization, enlightenment campaign.
Participants, including students, civil society groups, and other stakeholders, are expected to take the campaign against drug abuse down to the grassroots for a better society. In Dutse, Ibrahim Bello, NTA News.
The National Population Commission has commenced advocacy to address obstacles which may mar the successful conduct of the forthcoming census in the country. The Commission identified public apathy and absence of enlightenment as major hindrances that may negatively affect the exercise. Chairman of the Commission, Nasir Isa Kwara, said this while exchanging views with the Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai, when he paid him a courtesy visit. Haruna Muhammad has details.
16 years after the conduct of the National Population Census, Nigeria is set to conduct another one to enable the country to obtain accurate figure of its population. The Commission has so far conducted enumeration area demarcation in 772 out of the 774 local government areas in the country. First and second census pretest in some selected enumeration areas in the 36 states of the Federation. Consolidating this is key to the Commission as it embarks on advocacy visits to address grey areas that may be an obstacle. The chairman of the commission told Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai that the commission achieved 90% in area demarcation in Kaduna, with only Birningwari local government area yet to be attended on account of security situation. He said the commission will do everything to remove possible impediments that will hinder the success of the forthcoming exercise.
The commission is working hard to expand coverage of the e-registration to other centers to make birth and death registration seamless and efficient.
Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai described the upcoming census as necessary to provide data for accurate planning by government.
It's something that we place utmost priority and giving all cooperation to the National Population Commission to proceed with their preparations to ensure that we have sound, accurate, and reliable census.
He urged the commission to work assiduously in overcoming obstacles in conducting the exercise. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
More reports ahead in Abuja after the break.
Thanks for staying tuned. As schools reopen in Nigeria, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, with technical support from the United Nations World Food Programme, say it will be taking to the next level the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, launched by the federal government in 2016. This decision was as a result of a joint assessment conducted in the first quarter of 2021 to identify ways of improving, scaling up and sustaining the program. World Food Programme is back in the next stage with a significant transfer of ICT equipment. This includes tablets with access to Plus Schools menus, a free tool to help state nutrition officers design nutritious menus for schools. The hardware will not only support the ministry's efforts to digitalize its monitoring and evaluation system, but also enable the national rollout of the Plus School Menu tool developed by the World Food Programme to standardize cost-effective menu development. By 2021, this breakthrough initiative has served school meals to over 9 million students in 53,000 public primary schools, making it one of the largest school feeding programs in Africa. It has also led to a significant increase in school enrollments across the country and has provided a much-needed boost to local economies by buying the products of smallholder farmers and providing jobs to more than 107,000 cooks from low-income families. The National Identity Management Commission has reassured Nigerians that its servers are fully optimized at the highest international security levels as custodians of the most important national database for Nigeria. In a statement by Head of Corporate Communications, Kayode Adegoke, the Director General of NIMC, Aliyu Aziz, reiterates that NIMC has gone to great length to ensure the nation's database is adequately secure and protected, especially given the spate of cyber attacks on networks across the world. The Commission and its infrastructure are certified to the latest Information Security Management System standard, which is validated annually and not on the Amazon Web Service Cloud platform or any public cloud, in spite of availability of the NIMC mobile app to the public for accessing their NIN on the go. The Commission assures the public that it will continue to uphold the highest ethical standards in data security on behalf of the federal government and ensure compliance with data protection and privacy regulations. Aziz adds that the NIMC mobile application has no database within the app, nor does it store information in flat files. Moving on now, as part of efforts to rid the nation's airports of touting and extortion, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has arrested over 90 persons caught at both the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, and Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, carrying out nefarious activities. A statement by FAN Corporate Affairs General Manager Henrietta Yakubu confirms that the touts were arrested for various acts of illegality, including fake COVID-19 test results, touting, unauthorized entry, trespass, illegal facilitation, forgery, loitering, theft, public nuisance, arguments, amongst others. Some of those arrested are staff of Patovilki Nigeria Limited, Liquid Services, NACO PLC, and other airport staff. Of the total arrested, 59 were handed over to the airport's police command in Abuja for prosecution, while 30 were handed over to the police force in Lagos. Adebola is next on Nationwide, and she'll be giving us the latest from our Ibadan Network Center. Network Center.
Ayodeji, welcome to Ibadan. Continuous adherence to COVID-19 safety protocols is set to be needful in a bid to drop the rising number of new infections in the country. Grace Ayonleke brings us a situation report of the level of compliance at the different public places within the Ibadan metropolis. Her report is presented from our studio.
As the COVID-19 continues to ravage the world with the new EU variant reportedly originating from France, it will be too early to let down guards in adhering to the non-pharmaceutical protocols to curb the spread of the virus in public space.
I wash my hands regularly to avoid catching COVID-19.
We put in place the washing running water soap for them, and the pupils are using nose masks.
Aside the non-pharmaceutical measure put in place, the people also yearn for more arrangements in ensuring that the vaccine gets to all and sundry. In the meantime, staff of NTA Ibadan who had earlier received the first and second dose of the COVID-19 vaccination, has been administered with a booster dose.
As for me now, since they were asked to come out and take it, I turned up the first one, the second one, and this is the third one. I participated, and it was okay.
The health officials from Ibadan North local government area explained that the booster dose is to complement the Oxford AstraZeneca dose earlier injected.
After taking the first and second dose, we need to take the booster dose for our own very good. And those that are yet to receive their own, I want to encourage them, those that are still fear, they don't have to put any fear. They were here seeing what I've been doing since. That is not painful at all. You won't even feel it.
They advise members of the public to get vaccinated as COVID-19 continues to mutate with the new variants detected.
Goods estimated to be worth millions of naira were said to have been gutted at the popular Agbeni market in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, following the outbreak. Correspondent Omokende Igbari reports that traders are still counting their losses as at the time of filing in this report. A report is here presented.
Traders at the Agbeni market were thrown into confusion and anxiety as some lock-up shops in the market were engulfed, destroying goods worth millions of naira.
The guy that owned this shop came on Sunday to offload some goods, and the goods, the money, everything was lost.
Afterthought that people are now saying somebody is keeping this, somebody is keeping that. Electricity do give problem, but the fire will not be as engulfing as it was.
According to a shop owner, Mukaila Abiodun, efforts by the traders to put out the fire proved abortive until the arrival of the state's fire service, who brought the fire under control. While appreciating the timely intervention of the fire service, which prevented what could have been a colossal loss in the market, affected traders appealed to the government and public-spirited individuals to assist them recover from the loss as a result of the tragic incidents.
And that's it from Ibadan Network Center. It's back to you in Abuja, Ayodeji.
We appreciate you at Debola in our Ibadan Network Center. The fight against corruption has continued to record remarkable boosts as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, recovers more monies. This is disclosed in continuation of the review of the Commission's operational activities for the year 2021.
From securing the highest number of convictions since the inception of the Commission to the recovery of more than 150 billion naira, the year 2021 was a giant stride for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The Commission also recovered more than $300 million and more than £1 million between in the year just concluded. A statement by the head of media and publicity of the Commission, Wilson Uwajirin, says the recovery basket included digital currency components. The Headquarters Operation Command dominated recovery with more than 67 billion naira, followed by the Lagos Command, which led naira recoveries with more than 70 billion naira, while Kaduna Zonal Command emerged third in terms of recoveries. Giving an overview of the Commission's performance, the Executive Chairman, Abdulrasheed Bawa, explained that the recoveries are direct and indirect for the different tiers of government, corporate organizations, and individuals.
Governor Mai Malabuni of Yobe State was in the ancient town of Unguru to sympathize with the business community over the recent fire incident that gutted large section of the town's popular market, destroying property worth millions of naira. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
This is the current picture of the popular Guru market after the recent fire outbreak, which razed significant portions of the commercial hub, destroying about 441 shops and stalls with property worth millions of naira. It was the third fire incident at the market in the last 5 years, inflicting heavy losses on the business community, with some of the affected traders describing the incident as an act of God. Governor Mai Malabuni was at the scene of the disaster to see for himself a level of damages caused by the unfortunate incident. He announces the donation of 25 million naira to the traders by one of his associates, Alhaji Amin Yaro.
Many Nigerians are sympathizing with us over the disaster, and Yobe State government under my leadership will support the affected victims to regain their strength.
The fire outbreak is coming as Yobe State government is about to inaugurate the newly constructed modern market in the town, one out of the 4 constructed by the governor Mai Mala Buni-led administration in some major towns of the state to provide conducive environment for business activities to thrive. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Policy and regulatory interventions have been identified as ways to address the black soot, which is creating severe health and environmental challenges in the Niger Delta. Discussing the issue on Good Morning Nigeria, environmental experts attributed the problem to illegal refining of crude oil by youth in the area, as well as gas flaring. Ekemini Williams has the details.
Of soot in Port Harcourt and other parts of the Niger Delta has been recurring, but the challenge is worsening in recent months as environment and health conditions of people are being affected badly. There have been reports of acid rain resulting in homes and water bodies being covered in black substances, while people in the region are complaining of nasal congestion and itchy skin. Guests on the program say illegal refining of crude oil and gas flaring are primarily responsible for the unwholesome situation.
And also we have other things like the roasting of meat that is specifically for more.
The question is the hydrocarbon that is stolen from pipelines of oil companies and then burnt in the, cooked, I will call it quote and unquote, cooked in the night.
Anybody who has done basic chemistry knows that if you combine sulfur dioxide with water, as that thing will, as the fumes will go up during flaring, what results is sulfuric acid. If you combine carbon dioxide with water, as is the case when that gas goes up, what you have is carbonic acid. So they come back onto the Niger Delta and some parts of Equatorial Guinea as acid rain.
As I speak to you, we are having nasal congestion here in Port Harcourt. You can feel the way I'm talking. It tells you that I'm most affected.
They suggested policy and regulatory interventions through creating employment for the artisanal refiners, stopping gas flaring, as well as collaboration between academics, security and regulatory agencies.
Most of this illegal.
They commended efforts of River State government for taking certain measures to address the issue. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
To some political party matters, ahead of the proposed February 2022 National Convention of the All Progressives Congress, stakeholders have commenced engagement towards building a stronger party. Salihu Gwanara reports that APC Rebirth, a youth organ of the party, has organized the Stakeholders Summit in Abuja.
Even if you have it.
This convergence of members of the progressive family is the first major political activity in the year 2022 by stakeholders of the APC in Abuja. Participants say the summit seeks to put the party on a solid ground and remind members of the need to adhere to the progressive ideology ahead of the leadership recruitment exercise.
It's a question of identifying key issues and sit down and extract some guarantees that they will run the business, whoever a man will run the business of the party based on those guarantees.
We want to be actively involved in how the leadership is made. We want to be actively involved in how our future is being discussed or being implemented.
It's work in progress, and this time around they will be more involved and they will be given that sense of belonging and they will be carried along.
The youths, particularly those in politics, have been reminded to place national interest above other interests for political and economic development of the nation moving forward. Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
In a related development, the National Reconciliation Committee of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has appealed to members of the party in Osun State to allow the interest of the party take precedence in all their actions. Chairman of the committee, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, made the appeal during a reconciliatory meeting with stakeholders of the party in Oshogbo. Femi Afariogun reports.
Visit of the National Reconciliation Committee led by Senator Abdullahi Adamu to Osun State was to ensure fairness, equity and justice among party members.
Take the spirit of the submissions that were made to us by the petitioners and the spirit and construction of the responses that we got. By the grace of God, we will take the steps that will strengthen this party, strengthen this administration, and not the opposite.
During the visit to the government house in Oshogbo, leadership of the party in Osun responded and defended allegations of alienation raised by dissenting members of the party, known as the Osun Progressives, TOP. The governor expressed confidence in the ability of the National Reconciliation Committee to resolve all differences in the party with equity and fairness.
I want to say that the people who consider themselves as TOP, they have every right to come back to the party. We're not saying no to them coming back. All we're saying is please show sincerity of purpose. We should work together in the interest of our party, in the interest of our government, and the interest of the state.
Leaders of the party affirmed their commitment to unity and progress of APC in Osun. The committee had earlier met separately with aggrieved party members in Oshogbo. Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Despite technological advancements in food processing and storage, the traditional method of drying food items has continued to thrive with its attendant health consequences. Most worrisome is drying of food stuff in the open with the risk of infection, especially in the face of reported cases of Lassa fever transmitted by rodents. Victoria Kasua tells us more.
It is Harmattan season, favorable for harvest as farmers dry harvested food crops. But there are health risks with the outbreak of Lassa fever, mostly during the season where rats, the carrier of the disease, feed or excrete on food items not properly covered. For instance, it is a common practice in Lafia and other parts of the country to see food items spread indiscriminately along the highways and in the neighborhoods.
If it is based on drying in a place where radioactive and the metallic radiants cannot get in contact with the food, there will be no problem.
I always look at the food items that are sprayed on the highway to prevent any deaths from coming.
Health experts say this practice raises questions on the hygiene of the food items, especially with the outbreak of Lassa fever. It could be recalled that 2 medical doctors at the Dalhatu Aro Specialist Hospital, Lafia, lost their lives recently while treating patients infected with Lassa fever.
We've also been able to procure and preposition some drugs that are used in the management of Lassa fever, the injectable drugs that are used for treatment, and then the oral drugs that we use for chemo prevention. We've also been able to procure and preposition the PPEs that healthcare workers wear when they are providing services and all the other commodities and consumables that are used in the treatment of cases.
It is expected that the advocacy, among other measures, will reduce the rate of Lassa fever infection and fatalities. In Lafia, Victoria Kaswa Ujito, NTA News.
Now it's time for sports updates with Olumide Eguntola.
Welcome to Sports Updates. My name is Olumide Eguntola. The die is cast and the D-Day is here. As the Super Eagles of Nigeria takes on the Pharaohs of Egypt in an AFCON 2022 tournament cracker, fortified by Mohamed Salah of Liverpool. Which of the two teams will snatch the maximum 3 points at stake? Or will it end in a deadlock? Only time will tell.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria will this evening in Cameroon start our 2022 AFCON campaign with a crucial encounter with the Pharaohs of Egypt at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. The Eagles are making their 19th appearance at the Cup of Nations, reached the semi-finals in 14 of their last AFCON participations, winning the tournament on 3 occasions. For Egypt, this is the team's 25th appearance, a record in the history of the tournament. The team have won it 7 times more than any other side. Egypt are unbeaten in each of the last 16 group matches in AFCON.
Everyone is concentrated on the game. It's not going to be an easy game against Egypt. We've got a lot of good players, but we're fully ready to battle against them.
Always been beating them. If not for the dwindling of our football in the last 10 years, I don't think that we'll be losing sleep over today's game.
They've prepared for this, and I believe that the first game will determine how far we're going to go in this tournament, and I want them to do very, very well to win.
We are capable. Technically, we are good, and we have players that are doing well in their various clubs. I've watched some of the matches in current AFCON, and I know the Eagles can do it.
Meanwhile, Sudan will trade tackles with Guinea-Bissau in the last match of the day. The Black Stars of Ghana had earlier lost 0-1 to Morocco in one of the matches decided on Monday. In grassroots tennis, the 4th edition of Azimuth Junior Tennis Championship started off Tuesday at Lagos Lawn Tennis Club.
We want to see our children in big stages like the Grand Slam, like ATP, WTA.
Over 200 junior tennis players from various parts of the country are featuring at the 5-day tournament in the under 12, under 14 and 16 categories for boys and girls. With sponsor update, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
And the players have just filed out at Romde Abuja Stadium in Garoua, Cameroon for the match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Pharaohs of Egypt. That's nationwide. We thank you for watching. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Please remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. Good evening.